Good morning. That was very nice. Thank you. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am Glennis Peterson. I want to thank our greeters, Dana McDonald and Gemma Cray. Thank you so much. I want to gently remind you to turn off your phone if you have not done so already. And let me get this back to where it belongs. Okay. And at this time, I would like to remember and acknowledge those for whom we have named our rivers, valley, and forest, as well as our beloved community here. The Native American tribe known as the Umpqua, who lived on and cared for this land so many years ago. Now, to help those in our community who suffer from food insecurity, we join with several Roseburg churches in support of the Fish Pantry. We will now collect your food and money donations for fish. Thank you, all of you, for your kind donations. It really does go a long way toward helping people get over food insecurity. Thank you. Well, right now, I would like to welcome those of you who are at home. I'm so glad you can join us. Today, our speaker is our dear friend Donna Smith, and she has a few words to tell us.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to invite you to 2 AEO sessions that I'm going to be facilitating this month. And one is on March 16th, and the next one is on March 23rd. I'm up here to talk to you about these because when you come, I want you to come with an open mind and curiosity, because we're going to be talking about some Cryon teachings about our origins, our DNA, and our partnership with Mother Earth. And so it's going to be 2 fun classes, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Also, I want to direct your attention to the insert of your order of service. It lists a lot of things that are going on here at UUU. We gather this morning as one community, a community united by common ideals: love, justice, diversity, freedom, mutual care, equity. Yet look around. Look at the faces of those around you. Each face represents an individual. Every one of us, with our own story, needs, strengths, and faults. We light our chalice today, honoring our common connection and also the uniqueness that lives within each of us.
I define connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they give and receive without judgment, when they can derive substance and strength from the relationship.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, and our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, yeah, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we shield the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place, then our heart is in a holy place, then our heart is in a holy place.
That was lovely. Well, now is the time in our service when we can remember our joys or our sorrows with candle lighting, regarding the significant milestones in our lives. I invite those who wish to light a candle, silent or spoken, to please form a line to Kathy's right. And for those with spoken candles, please give your name and try to be brief. The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to this people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something that we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission. We are truly grateful for these gifts and are committed to using these gifts to make a difference in our beloved community and in our world. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. And now we hope you'll enjoy our anthem this morning. Put a little love in your heart.
We say a little, but we really need a lot. Think of your neighbor and lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Yeah. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. We want the world to know we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Put a little love in your heart.
Put a little love in your heart.
Love in your heart.
Put a little love in your heart.
Love in your heart.
Put a little love in your heart.
Put a little love in your heart.
Well, at this time, I'd like to introduce Donna Smith. She is a Unity Worldwide Ministry spiritual leader whose training focused on pastoral care. She's most happy when she can help others find peace and joy in their lives. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader, a trainer, and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles, a teacher of the Way of Mastery, and is active in our Cares and Concerns ministry. Donna? Oh, that was nice. Good job. Good job. Here we go.
This is necessary so you can see me. They did not give me height this time. That's all right. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's really good to see you. If I put this right side up, I can give you my sermon this morning. Well, you know, my husband Jerry and I used to go to the movies quite regularly on the weekends. And one weekend, I picked the movie I wanted to see, and then I asked him, you know, what showing would you like to go to? And he said he didn't want to go to the movies. And I asked him, are you not feeling well? And he said, no, I feel fine. I just don't want to go to the movies. He says, in fact, I hate going to the movies. I go to the movies only because you want to go to the movies. Well, I was taken aback. I was very surprised. We'd always gone to the movies. So in my world, going to the movies was fun. It took you to this other place and this other time and this other adventure. I thought it was wonderful. And I thought Jerry looked at it in the same way that I did. But guess what? He didn't. He didn't like being around all those other people. He didn't like sitting next to somebody he didn't know, and he hated the smell of popcorn. Yes. That's why he didn't like to go, but he didn't tell me that. So how many times do we make assumptions about what other people want based on what we want? How many times do you buy gifts for someone because you like the gift? How many times do you even ask someone what they want for their birthday or for Christmas or for whatever event? I used to think that I would spoil it if I asked them, because then they would know what they were going to get. However, one time I got a gift back that I had given to somebody else who had forgotten that I was the one that gave it to them. So what does that tell you? Well, at least I liked it because I bought it because I liked it. So the golden rule is the principle of treating others as you would want them, as you would want to be treated. Now, we have grown up with this, haven't we? And we are very, very familiar with the golden rule. And it dates back as far as Confucius' time, 551 to 479 BCE. And that's a long time. And you know, if you look at most religions, they all have the golden rule stated in certain words. For example, you know, if you don't want to get hit, you don't hit anybody else. It's pretty clear, isn't it? So let's break this down just a little bit. Are you hearing me okay? Okay. So if I'm treating another the way I want to be treated, that's better. Thank you, Sean. Yes. I felt like I wasn't being heard. Then I am assuming the other wants to be treated the way I want to be treated. That's an assumption that we make. If the other does not want to be treated the same, then only one person is getting what they want, and only one person is happy. I assume Jerry loved going to the movies because I did. He went for me, and he was not happy. This does not foster deeper relationships, and in many times fosters actually resentment. So only half of the relationship was being fostered, and it was being fostered at the detriment of the other person. So let's stop and think about that in our lives and in our relationships. Just think about that. In his book, The Art of People, author Dave Kirpin speaks at length about how the golden rule misses the mark. Yes, the intentions are good. They are. But it's not enough. Okay? Kirpin explains, the golden rule is a splendid concept except for one thing. Everyone is different. And the truth is that in many cases, what you'd want done to you is different from what your partner, employee, customer, investor, wife, or child would want done to him or her. Societally, we are slowly learning to grow and learn about others' unique experiences. It seems to be very slow, doesn't it? It's not acceptable to treat everyone like yourself because everyone has different struggles, different backgrounds, different privileges and blind spots, and we don't know about those things. To make things pretty clear-cut, Kirpin provides this very simple story. Personally, I'm very fond of strawberries and cream, he says, but I have found that for some strange reason, fish prefer worms. So when I went fishing, I didn't think about what I wanted. I thought about what they wanted. I didn't bait the hook with strawberries and cream. Rather, I dangled a worm or grasshopper in front of the fish and said, "Wouldn't you like to have this?" Now, crazy little story, but isn't it true? Think about it. Think about it. So here's the challenging part of the golden rule. When you love a certain way of doing things, whether it's giving feedback, expressing thanks, or asking questions, everyone is not going to be like you. Basically, you can choose to accept that fish like worms better than strawberries, or you can go a step further to understand why fish likes worms and not strawberries. So think about your relationships in your life right now and ask yourself if you are treating those in your life the way that you would like to be treated or the way they would like to be treated. This seems, like that makes sense, but I really want you to look at your relationships. Because when I heard about this thing that I'm going to bring to your attention in a few minutes, I thought, wow, it's so easy for me to treat others the way I want to be treated and not even think twice about it. So, for example, really what's happening is you're expecting them to be like you want them to be. If you're a Democrat, you're expecting then the people in your family to be Democrats or vice versa, Republicans, whatever. You're expecting that. because they are your family, they're your friends, and you're expecting them to think and act and speak the way that you do. And that's not necessarily healthy for them. So some of us are very good at teaching others how we would like to be treated. Some of us are very good at not rocking the boat and then not expressing truth about how we would really like to be treated. So when you are in a relationship like this, there is a division and a resentment because somebody is not going to be happy and they're probably suffering. So this is the same dynamic that we are embroiled in right now as we move through the chaos of shifting from one paradigm to another in our world. There is division within the world. There is division within nations, within societies, and even within families about all kinds of issues. And most of this division is because we feel others should think and act and speak the way that we do. How many times do you ask someone to share what they really feel about things like politics, religion, spirituality, local issues? We tend to shy away from those conversations, don't we? Because we're too involved in speaking about what we want, and we get upset if someone does not agree with us. Early criticism of the Golden Rule came from philosophers such as Immanuel Kant and Friedrich Nietzsche. They objected to the rule for various reasons, but most importantly for one reason in particular. As one person with a specific background, upbringing, and set of standards, you can only know how you want to be treated. How does one know how others want to be treated? The short answer is we don't. We just don't know. Not unless we make an effort to find out. It's making that effort that seems to be difficult for us. Well, I just recently was introduced to the Platinum Rule, which is a variation of the Golden Rule that calls for a more thoughtful approach when dealing with others. And it asks you to do unto others as they would want to be done to them. I'm getting to that. Basically, in simple terms, following the Platinum Rule means making sure you know how the people around you want to be treated. Applying the Platinum Rule involves understanding and respecting the unique preferences of individuals in various contexts and fostering better relationships. So how do we use the Platinum Rule? Number one, remember, this is the humanity boat. We are all in the same boat, and there is only oneness. Even though we have different physical bodies, in our true essence, there is only oneness. And remember, whatever you're doing to another, you're doing to yourself. So if you're treating someone disrespectfully, you are really disrespecting yourself. Be willing to speak your truth in a gentle way, not to offend others. There is no way that you have to offend others to speak your truth. That's why I like nonviolent communication. That's exactly what it teaches us, that we can speak our truth in a very gentle way without offending anyone. And so I love teaching that, because it promotes understanding and peace. Another thing is be very aware of the energy you are putting forth. Put forth that energy that makes a person feel safe in your presence and feel safe to communicate with you. And then be willing to ask them, what's in your heart? How do you feel about this situation? Ask them. And then, this is very important, once you ask, listen. listen. And this is very important that we listen. But we tend to get caught up in our conversations with not listening to the other person, but we're still back here, creating our response to something about, still, it's all about us. You understand what I'm saying there, don't you? Yeah. We're working on what we're going to respond to instead of really listening to that person. Did you know that the words silent and listen have the same letters in it? Same letters. Silent and listen. So if you want to listen, you be silent in front of that other person. Okay? And I implore that I implore you to work at that. It is so important because we are not good listeners as a humanity. When I say you, by the way, I'm talking about humanity, not you. Okay? All right. But I want you to also come into these situations with an open mind. Okay? In a world of unlimited abundance and opportunities, don't you think there are other possibilities out there that you haven't thought about? Yes, there are many of them. And we're really good at creating these little boxes. We create these little boxes of what we think is true, what we believe, and all of that, and it is safe to stay in that little box, isn't it? My experience has been those little boxes that we create are not created on truth. They are only created on our experiences and what we believe to be true. So we have so much to learn, but we must do that by, getting out of those little boxes. And I know sometimes that's fearful because we're fearful of the unknown. But just think about that. If we're stuck in a little box and maybe all of these beliefs, well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of our beliefs are not true, and yet we're living our life with those beliefs, then we're not living our true life, are we? No. We're living our lives on these concepts that we either learned from others or developed from our experiences. And I'm going to have to say this, most of them are not true. There's amazing things out there that we have refused to look at because of the fear behind these things. And I can't tell you the number of times that I have had solutions come to me in meditation. So I strongly suggest that you develop some kind of a meditation practice, even if it's for 5 minutes a day. Because what happens when you do that is you get in touch with your higher self. It's kind of like a pathway to your higher self, to your divine essence. That higher self helps you get up into your soul wisdom. You do that by stopping and being silent and listening to that wisdom that's coming down. I have had so many solutions come through that way, and they have been solutions that in my physical mind I would have never thought of. It's almost like, wow, that's great, those aha moments. So I don't care if you want to call it meditation or just being silent. I really suggest that you spend some time getting in touch with your higher self, because that's really going to help you find the answers to all of this. But also I want you to ask questions. Ask questions of those in front of you if you don't understand. Ask them how they're feeling about this or that. And listen, as I said before, because none of us know everything. None of us. And I also want you to know that there is a spiritual solution to everything. And the only thing that blocks that is our refusal or our inattention to our higher self, as I was explaining before. And I also want you to refer to and remember the UUA principles. They're on the back of your program, by the way. Because these principles are very, very good at fostering deeper relationships. The first one is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And each and every one of us is a divine being. Every one of us. I don't care what you look like, what you're doing, what you're saying. You are and will always be a divine being. Number 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation. And I want to add to that, in all aspects of our lives. In all aspects of our lives. Number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. So how can we do that if we don't ask questions of how others are feeling, how others are looking at situations? We can't. We really do have to have that communication. And number 5 is the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and society at large. Number 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Not just for those who think like we do. Jesus said, love one another. He did not say, love one another if they think like you do. He did not say that. Anyway, in every Bible I've ever read, he didn't say that. So anyway. And number 7 is the respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Respect for all others. This does not mean that we agree with their thoughts or their actions. That's not what this is about. It means that we respect the other to have the right to express their thoughts. Does not mean that we have to condone actions. But once we accept them, then we can work with these people to come together and help each other. Now, here's something you might need to, however, begrudgingly accept. You may never understand why or how someone prefers to do things in a certain way. But by applying the Platinum Rule in all areas of your life, you'll be fostering an environment of inclusion and belonging for everyone, no matter how they differ from how you want to be treated. And right now in our world, this is so important. We are so divided right now. We really, really need to work at coming together. So we must focus on moving from separation to connection if we are to live by these principles. If we understood and lived by these principles, just the first one, it would be a different world. Just the very first one. So I ask you to ask yourself, how can I help them move from fear to love and happiness? Because you know that any kind of action that is not loving is coming from fear. And there's a lot of fear in this world. A lot of fear. And people run their lives based on this fear. That's why I really invite you to find that meditation, those moments of silence, again, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. But go there to your wisdom centers. That's where you're going to get your answers. You will not get them in the world. They're not out there. But many of us keep seeking for them out there, and we're not finding them. So by applying the Platinum Rule to your overarching sensibilities, whether dealing with a loved one, a coworker, or any difficult situation, you will inevitably gather hundreds of lenses through which to see, understand, navigate, and help each other. And this is what we need right now, because that's why we're here in this earth. We came here to learn and grow and help each other. That's what this is all about. And if you think about oneness, and that we're all one, each one of you is a beautiful part of me. And look at yourself as everyone around you is a beautiful part of you. Treat them with that respect. Everything will change. Everything will change. So when you're in a difficult situation, I invite you to do the heart math coherence method, which I've shared with you many times. It takes a minute. Takes a minute. And the steps are very simple. You just take some deep breaths, focus on your heart. Then you think of someone or something that brings you genuine feelings of joy, happiness or gratitude. Okay? And then if you want to go a little bit further, because right now you're in coherence when you're there, you're in coherence, and this is where you have access to your wisdom, your deep wisdom. And this is where you're going to be coming from love and not fear. Very simple. Then you can ask your heart a question about whatever situation you're in, and then listen. It's that simple. You will always, always get an answer. And so today, as we go into our meditation, we're going to do that. So let's get comfortable in our chairs. Just let your chair support you. Drop those shoulders, drop that jaw, and just relax. Your body loves it. Your body loves it. And then just breathe gently and deeply. And just feel that peace flowing into your body, into every cell. And now breathe as if you're breathing from your heart. And focus on your heart. You're so relaxed. And now I want you to think of someone or something that brings you feelings, beautiful, genuine feelings of love and appreciation. And you feel so happy that you can't help but smile when you think of them. Just breathe and feel good. Feel relaxed. You're in your place of wisdom. You're in your place of love. Fear cannot enter. And in this beautiful state, I want to share with you the words of Thomas Merton, an American Trappist monk. He was born in 1915 and died in 1968. His beautiful words. Then it was if I suddenly saw the secret beauty of their hearts, the depths of their hearts, where neither sin nor desire nor self-acknowledge can reach. The core of their reality. The person that each one is in God's eyes. If only they could see themselves as they really are. If only we could see each other that way all the time. There would be no more war, no more hatred, no more cruelty, no more greed. I suppose the big problem would be that we would fall down and worship each other. So just hold those words in your heart. And so as we look upon each other, remember those words and remember how precious each and every one of us is. So let's take a few more deep breaths. Bring our attention back into this sacred space. Thank you, Sean.
And now we have time, this opportunity to respond to the words that Donna has brought to us today.
Yeah, usually I just kind of default to the golden rule, it seems like. You know, if I'm not sure, I just kind of go with that. And then if I can figure out more, then I'll just figure out more stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
As far as, there was something else you said that was kind of neat, and I've been having some memory problems myself, so personally, you know, and so, but if I think of it, I'll let you know.
All right. That sounds great. I was telling someone else this morning, while I was at my computer this morning, I got up twice to go in the other room and totally forgot what I went in there for. So, you know, we all do that.
Charles and I have a rule, an agreement between us. Your project, your way. My project, my way. And that really saves a lot of hassles.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. What a beautiful, instructive talk. I was trying to listen with every pore of my being.
Thank you, Kathy.
My parents went to Nepal many years ago and came back in wonder at how they said every soldier, it was a very tumultuous time when they were there. They said every soldier, every urchin, every person greeted each other, no matter what, with namaste. The divinity in me honors the divinity of you or in you. I was really brought up short when you started your talk because at the beginning of this school year, I have a wall that's plastered with all the different variations that I could find of the Golden Rule in my
There are
classroom.
a lot of them, yeah.
And I was talking individually with one of my students who's been through terrible things. I love him so much. But I said, now remember, treat others as you want to be treated. And he said, Mrs. Baker, I hate myself. And I hurt myself.
Yeah.
And I cried for him.
Yes. Absolutely. Because, you know, if we are feeling okay with our lives and everything, we just think everybody else is doing the same thing. And we don't know that until we start asking questions and listening to them. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if I can talk without crying, but thank you, Kathy. I was going to say that, you know, the golden rule for me still even is that it's a basic kindness. I think it was meant, for me it was meant, my mom always told me this, and it worked for me in my life, that it's the basic things that I think everybody deep down wants love, right? And we all are love, and so if we treat everybody that way, it's just kind of a basic thing. But I agree with all the things that we don't know, all the ins and outs and details, but anyway, that meditation was really powerful and very beautiful. I think we could do that in our own lives, have that little moment, every day, and maybe think about some of the things Donna brought today would help, would help so much to put good stuff out into the air. Thank you.
Yeah, the Platinum Rule is an expansion of the Golden Rule. It's not like, well, now we don't want the Golden Rule. But there are people, I can't bring anything up in my mind right now, but there are people who think they deserve to be mistreated. And so that's how they would choose to be treated. And, so we have to just understand all of those things when we are looking at another and trying to understand. That's why we listen. We ask and we listen. Thank you, Susie.
Yeah, and that curiosity, that desire to really go deeper and understand another person, that's the essence of the Golden Rule, That, and it really struck me, the example of the putting the worm on the hook instead of the strawberry. Okay, I know that the worm likes, the fish likes worms, but the fish also likes to swim and enjoy its life. And if we're trying to manipulate, I know what the Republicans want, so I'm going to give them something so that I can get what I want, then at the heart of it, we're not really respecting that person. We're manipulating them. I'm taking you out to the movies because I know that you'll enjoy that, so then later I can get a favor from you, or
Yeah.
it's like the example of the fish seems so simple and trivial, and yet it has reflections in how we relate to each other in relationships, in politics, in community. And if we could just get to the heart, the essence of it, and treat each other with that essence of respect, then it doesn't matter what color of rule we have, it's gold or silver or platinum, the essence of it is the respect.
The respect, I agree. And there's a lot of manipulation that goes on. Yes. And it doesn't work. It never comes out right, but anyway, we'll learn that too. Yes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Donna. My daughter jokingly this morning on a phone call said that I manipulated her to call me.
Did you?
Well, it was serendipitous because we needed to take care of some business, and we could not do it before today because of our conflicting schedules. I want to go to your meditation. I doubt you have it written down because it came from your heart.
No,
Do you have it written?
I have his words written. The other was just me. Yeah.
Well, it came to me, if I were to think about the opposing forces, the people that I see on the other side of the political spectrum, the health issue ideas, everything that's opposite of what I wholeheartedly believe, if I could just ask what they want, it would make a big difference. And I need something written to prompt me to meditate in that way. So if you could share, I would appreciate it.
Of course. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you. Maybe you could make something available to the general. I
Sure.
don't know how I don't want to make it a pain for you to do that.
No, I could probably send it to
because
Genevieve,
I was thinking
and she
the
could
same
send
thing
it
that
out.
Sharon was saying. I really would love those words.
Thank you. Yeah, they're my favorite words. Yes, Merton, yes. And I shared them before, but I think they're absolutely beautiful words.
To someone who spoke behind me, I have learned that this way of coming from love and heart instead of rules and punishment and separations, all well and good, but it does take risk. So that's why it's part of being spiritually brave. But also, it's not magical in the beginning, because if you run up against someone who doesn't treat themselves well, or doesn't think they should be, or thinks they get more for not being treated well, et cetera, then you have to do it again and again and again until they can believe me, that that is what I mean. I won't yell at them or do whatever or cut them off, no matter if they change or not. But I, so deeply believe in the change of coming from heart that I can't, it's a risk. It's not a sure thing.
And like I said, we're here to help each other, but we're not here to fix each other. You can't fix another person. You can give them lots of love, encouragement, but the person has to make the change. And so, and we have to respect that, because whatever their journey is, I kind of believe that's what they need in the moment. There was a book written by a person, I don't have the information in front of me, but Lauren was telling me about it, a woman whose brother was on drugs, trouble with the police all the time, and all of this, and she loved him dearly, but she couldn't get him off of that stuff and change his life, and he died young. Well, they established him from the other realm, a communication. And the person, her brother said, that was exactly the right life for me. Now we would see it as, oh, how could that be? But this is what he communicated to her from the other realm. That was perfect for me and what I was supposed to learn or whatever. So we don't know what's for the highest and best for somebody. That doesn't mean we don't stop trying to be with them and help them, but we also have to respect that it might not be the way we would like it to come out, So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna. Please rise as you are able and sing with us number 1053, How Can Anyone Ever Tell You?
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you
I'm fond of pigs. Pigs look up to us. Cats look down to us. Pigs treat us as equals. Winston Churchill.
Be kind. Be brave. Be just. Be merciful. Be hopeful. This is how we keep the chalice flame burning until we are together again to light it anew. Join me in singing Go Lift It Up.